The big news coming out of San Francisco is this right here. The 49ers are talking about trading into the top 6. Now, I believe what you're going to get at 6, you can get at 11. What you can get at 5, you can get at 11. What you get at 4, you can get at 11. Now, the worth, if you're going to trade up, it's only worth it if you go in the top 3, because now you're talking Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter. So if the 49ers are talking about trading up, I don't believe you trade up unless those 2 guys are on the board.
Yeah, I think what it comes down to is, like you said, those top 3 players, if you could get one of them, it's worth the trade up. I don't think we're going to trade up into the number 3. You have a lot of holes to fill, and you have to give up a lot of picks to get up there. So I don't think that's an option. Talking 6 or 5, it's a possibility when you have the 11th overall pick. But are you really going to get a big-time difference maker that Jalen Walker isn't? How much of an upgrade is that player going to be over a guy like Jalen Walker? I could argue that that's a worse pick than Jalen Walker. I don't think the trade-up would make sense.
I don't want to trade up because I don't want to lose picks. And the reality is the 49ers have put themselves in a position where they need a lot of players. And the way they're going to do that is this draft, because free agency, let's be honest, is pretty much over in the sense that anybody that's worthy of signing has been signed. There's a few guys out there still. There's one guy that I keep my eye on, and that's Samuel. The 49ers have a need at corner. It would make sense. He's young. It still fits the narrative of, going younger. Yeah. But if the 49ers want to get back on schedule, they need a hit on this draft, and they got a hit on a lot of them. And the amount of picks they have benefits them. And losing those picks to move up 5 or 6 spots just doesn't make sense unless you're getting Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter. I'm against it. I don't trade up for Mason Graham. Jalen Walker, if you land him at 11, I almost feel like you're already jumping off to a great head start. And there's no reason to feel nervous about. The only thing that scares me is if Jalen Walker's gone. But again, there is still Mikael Williams, who's a legit edge rusher, a legit problem on tape, makes a lot of plays. He's all over the place, and he's playing with a lot of aggression. So there are other options. I do believe you want Jalen Walker at 11.
Okay, so let's have some fun. Let's say the Niners swap picks with the Raiders at 6, because it is realistic that the Raiders would trade down. If they're taking Ginty, if they have their eyes on him, they might think he could get him at 11. So if the Niners go up to 6, who's the player?
Well, to be honest with you, if they go up to 6, it means that they think that Jalen Walker could have been taken earlier, maybe, or they're going aggressive after Will Johnson. And Will Johnson is a corner that is known as a lockdown style corner who makes a lot of plays. And, he probably will be gone in the top 10 picks. I'm pretty sure he will be. I keep seeing it in mock drafts. I'm a believer that when you have a lockdown corner in college, that's kind of where they go if they're, considered elite. You're going to see Travis Hunter go probably 2 or 3. And the reason being is, yeah, sure, he can play some receiver too, but he's going to be asked to play corner in the NFL, I believe. I think priority 1 is corner, and then he's going to be asked to, help out on offense. Yeah, it won't be full time.
No, he just said this week that he'd consider retirement if he doesn't play both ways. So he's playing both ways. It's a fact. But
I don't think a player should be saying stuff like that before the draft. I understand he's an elite talent, so he's probably comfortable in saying that stuff, and the NFL teams will probably respect it in the beginning. But the reality is, the NFL is a little bit different than college. There is no B player; they're all A players. A B player in the NFL is an A+ player in the college. So he's going to find that out quick. That when he's tired, he's not the same. In college, he can get away with it, but the NFL is a little bit different.
Yeah, I agree. So Will Johnson at 11, I don't know how I would feel about that. I'm excited that our secondary would look pretty damn good. Regarding instead of the safety sort of question marks, but at corner, you got 3 good players now. But I'm still opposed to it. I think just wait at 11. Take Jalen Walker if he's there. If he's not there, you have guys like Mikael Williams, who's going to be good in the NFL. Just wait it out. Save your picks. This year is not the year to trade up. This year
Yes, and when they get to 11, if a team is willing to trade back, like the Niners are, that makes more sense to me. Get more picks.
Yes.
As long as you can get if Jalen Walker's there at 11, and you think that if you trade back to say 14 with the Colts or 15 with the Falcons or something like that, and you could still get him, maybe that would be crazy. But if you can't, there's still guys that are pretty similar. I
Yeah.
do think Jalen's a bit better, but there's similar guys.
Yeah.
And now you're talking an additional pick, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah. If you pick up another second round pick, there's a lot of potential stars in the second round this year, especially in that front seven. So
right. So the 49ers have still been unable to sign Brock Purdy. And, a lot of people are talking about that the 49ers are not even close to signing Brock Purdy as of right now. And one notable person is Grant Cohen. He mentioned that the 49ers are not close to signing Brock Purdy. So it raises a lot of concern that the 49ers and Brock Purdy are not close. The agent is maybe still sticking to his guns because he understands what it means for his career to get Purdy signed at a big number. And this could hurt Purdy because if Purdy misses any time, Mac Jones is going to soak up those first team reps, even if it's OTAs and guys are, in the classroom. It's still beneficial for Mac Jones, who's learning the new offense. And we know that Kyle Shanahan's offense is very quarterback friendly. And, he can make Mac Jones look pretty good. And that would be problems for Brock Purdy. So Brock Purdy needs to sign this deal, or the 49ers, I want to say, should trade Purdy prior to the draft if they believe they're not going to be able to bring him down to the number they're looking for.
I think the 49ers know that Purdy's eventually going to go down. I don't think he wants Mac Jones to step onto the field. I think if anyone in the world knows that Kyle Shanahan could turn an average-looking quarterback into an elite-looking quarterback, it's Brock Purdy. So, yeah, I agree. He doesn't want Mac Jones to step onto the field. I think the Niners know that, and I think that's why this is waiting. This deal's waiting to be done. He's going to drop that number. He doesn't want Mac Jones stepping on the field.
The thing I love is what Jed York said is that, Brock Purdy's a top 10 quarterback with Kyle Shanahan. And it's a very accurate statement. It's true. He's a debatable top 10 quarterback with Kyle Shanahan. Without Kyle Shanahan, that's another debate. And that's a whole nother topic and a whole nother discussion, because it's true. Without Kyle Shanahan, who creates a lot of things for a quarterback to make life easy on him, will he be able to stand in the pocket, do the 5 and 7 step drops, and scan a field and consistently move down the field? It's another
Well,
topic.
we found it out last year, didn't we?
And I do believe we did. And I think what we saw last year was a guy struggling in a sense that Kyle Shanahan, for the first time of me watching him as a 49er head coach, leaned on the quarterback almost like a Matt Ryan type of lean.
Yeah.
And Brock Purdy let him down a little bit, and that's partly Kyle Shanahan's fault, because he should just stick to what works, whether he has that quarterback or not. Let's stick to what works. Still make life easy on a good quarterback. So going forward, Mac Jones has an opportunity here, if Brock Purdy doesn't sign, to work his way onto the field. Now, I don't believe the 49ers want that, but I do believe they brought in Mac Jones because that was Kyle Shanahan's guy. And for whatever reason, Kyle Shanahan really likes Mac Jones. I'm not a huge guy on Mac Jones, but do I think he could work with Kyle Shanahan? Let me tell you this. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, like, has Mac Jones had a successful career in the NFL so far? Not really. He went to the Pro Bowl 1 year as an alternate. But does it apply a little bit of pressure to Brock Purdy? 100% it does. 1,000% it does. So, yeah, it was a strategic move as well as a Kyle Shanahan. That was Shanahan's guy. So it was a smart move for sure.
Yeah, make no mistake about it. Mac Jones was brought in, one, because Kyle Shanahan liked him from the beginning, but number two was a lot to do with Brock Purdy and pressuring him into signing the deal that they want. And I think that number starts with a 4, not a 5. And if it was a 5, you best believe that Brock Purdy would have signed by now. And the reason why he's not signed is because it is a 4 in front of that number, and he's not willing to budge as of yet, or at least his agent is not. And that's where we're at. And if Brock Purdy holds on to this and pressures the 49ers, you never know. Maybe they do trade him.
Yeah, so let's talk about this. Puka Nacua. Okay. Says the 49ers shouldn't pay Purdy in the $50 million range. and the Super Bowl window closes if we do. Now, I think this says a lot about what the other players see in Brock Purdy. It's similar to what we see in Brock Purdy. You have a ceiling, you have a limit, and your limit isn't as high as a lot of guys that are getting paid in the $50 million range. That's just the truth. Like if we talk about the LA Rams game, just something as simple as a little bit of rain comes and your quarterback struggles in a game where he needs to win. That doesn't sound like a guy that you're going to pay $55 million to. And that's something
that's actually my biggest issue with Brock Purdy is that Brock Purdy, when the weather gets, it's not a beautiful sunny day in California. When that happens, his game goes down, and it's a fact. I've been there. I've been at games live multiple times in bad weather where Brock Purdy doesn't live up to Brock Purdy football. No. And the reason being is he's a smaller guy with smaller hands, and that's the facts. So what Puka's saying here is pretty accurate. And I always believe the peers know the best, whether your teammates or the peers that you play against. They know your true worth. And, nobody's going to dispute paying a guy like Patrick Mahomes or Lamar. All of them will speak highly of those guys and say they deserve their money. Now, the reason why there's a little bit of pushback on Brock Purdy is not that he's not a good quarterback. We all know he's a good quarterback. He's just not an elite quarterback, so don't pay him like one. It's simple.
Yeah, like once you start talking money, the reality sets in. Like Joe Montana has high praises for Brock Purdy. Steve Young has high praises for Brock Purdy. But if you go up to them right now and ask them, would you put the franchise on Brock Purdy's shoulders? What's their answer going to be? You know what I mean? We love Brock Purdy so much, but when it comes to putting the franchise on his shoulders and paying him $55 million, how quick are you going to do it? I don't want to do it. But I'm a Brock Purdy fan.